Hi, I'm Lauren Stratton, and for my book report, I did Assistive Technology in the Classroom, Enhancing the School Experiences of Students with Disabilities by Amy Dell, Deborah Newton, and Jerry Petroff. The authors are Amy Dell, who is involved in the assistive technology training for over 20 years. She is also the chairperson of the Department of Special Education, Language, and Literacy at the College of New Jersey. Deborah Newton is an active assistive technology consultant and holds a doctorate in curriculum and instruction. Jerry Petrov has 30 years of experience working on behalf of students and adults with disabilities. He also holds a doctorate in psychological studies in special education. So these three authors know the details of this book. They work with it all the time. From this information, they seem very qualified to write a book about this subject matter from many different perspectives, from the curriculum instruction to actually using assistive technology. So what this book goes over is assistive technology in the classroom, how it's being used in day-to-day instances to really help children go further in their education. It gives real-life examples, how assistive technology has changed lives. It goes over several different people, not just elementary school students, but adults who before, when they were in elementary schools, kind of before a lot of technology and changes, and it showed how when they're introduced to, say, like a speech program for a computer, instead of, hey mom, can you write out all my homework for me, they instead just talked to the computer and everything was written out. And many degrees had been accomplished that way, just using a simple, well, not simple, but by using a piece of technology. Many more doors open for people like this that the book talks about. And then the book also goes over teaching different subjects with various different pieces of technology. So this book really goes into detail about writing processes, reading processes, math, and how math, computer, website can help certain children learn different ways, and how the computer explains math makes more sense, or how pre-writing you can make um, a thought bubble and thought web on the computer for children who have difficulties writing and holding a pencil in their hand. And then the book also goes over computer technologies that supports universal design, which is having all the children in the classroom being able to learn to the best abilities, and that's universal design. So I liked how the book really went into detail about writing and reading and how different technology can go into it. So they had this really fun wheel in it for showing how much time and energy goes into writing process. And then this is also just kind of a visual of what a piece of assistive technology can look like in a classroom. It doesn't have to be all technology. It can be a word board for a child who is not verbal to explain things and communicate with not only the teachers but other students. And that's really important, to be able to talk to other classmates and form relationships and have your needs understood. So, what is assistive technology? Assistive technology has the potential to empower people with disabilities with the ability to participate in their communities and achieve more than ever before. And that I took from the book, and that's kind of a common theme throughout this book, is how to empower everyone in the classroom to be able to go further than they ever thought. Just by changing some little aspect of the classroom, they can achieve so much more, and they can just tap into so much knowledge and so much of their abilities. And that's, you can see that throughout this whole book. And then according to the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act IDEA, assistive technology devices means any item piece of equipment or product system, whether acquired commercially or off the shelf, modified or customized, that is used to increase, maintain, or improve functional capacities of a child with a disability. Basically, that means any piece of technology or device that helps children learn. You can either buy it or make it yourself. A lot of parents make things for their children. Anything like that that helps a child with disabilities learn easier, better, that's a piece of assistive technology. So it's not this huge supercomputer. It could be a rubber grip on a pencil that helps a child with fine motor problems. So it's a really wide topic. So on this little picture, I have a wheelchair for a child. That's kind of like one extreme, kind of like the child needs the most physical help, and then pencil grip, and those are more examples. Computers, computer programs, enlarged keyboard symbols, so a child can type and has fine motor abilities, but they can't really see the keys. So just helping with the visibility helps a child to use the computer. Post-it notes are a low-tech form of assistive technology. I use that when going over the book. Smart boards, microphones. The teacher can wear a microphone, and a child with hearing disabilities can wear an earpiece and hear the teacher like speak directly into their ears. Pencil grips, apps, tablets, note-taking devices, books on tape. There are so many different ways to incorporate these assistive technologies in the classroom, and it's really a broad topic, but the book does a really good job talking about specific pieces of technology, what can help a child with certain disabilities, and the book does a really good detailed job talking about all of them. And this book is about helping children and providing them with either simple or sophisticated pieces of technology that makes possibilities endless for them. This book talks about what pieces of technology is helpful for a child with a specific disability and who else it would help. So a child with a disability may benefit from pencil grip, so a typical developing child won't. No, that's not what this book is saying. It's the technology in the classroom can be used for more than just one child. And every aspect of the classroom is gone over. So the teacher talks about different areas, different subject matters in the classroom, and just goes over everything and how pieces of technology can really expand a child's ability to learn. And this one's an example of a smart board. I always think of Speechless. It's kind of a comedy show, and the main character has cerebral palsy, and he has a board where he points with his pointer. He can look, and he has a board that has letters, and then he has someone who talks for him. And that's what I think of when I think of this. And then both high-tech and low-tech pieces of equipment are mentioned. So like a pencil grip and a post-it note are assistive technologies, but they're not very high-tech. And the book also talks about um, calculators that talk to you and note-taking devices, which now would be more like tablets and iPads. And then visuals are also provided in the book when showing computer programs and functions. So the book was talking about doing pre-writing for an essay on the computer, and you could see a child plug in the things. And that was really helpful for me because I'm a visual learner, so I like seeing like, oh, okay, that actually works. And then after each chapter, there are several pages of resources and activity ideas provided by the authors. So you can go to certain chapters in this book and be like, oh, here's a math website I can look into, or here's a really good website about reading and language development. The book also goes over obstacles that may be faced in the classroom when trying to get pieces of the technology, like funding and how many different hoops you may go through, but also how important it is to use all these pieces of technology to really benefit your students. And then the book states that technology alone will not improve areas of child's development, but it can help. So the book even says how limited technology can help, and what students really need are qualified teachers who are willing to use any means possible to help them. And that means qualified teachers using these pieces of technology. So, the strengths and weaknesses of this book, I really did enjoy reading this book, and I thought it was so in depth, so well read, well written, and they knew what they were talking about. The message of this book is also really strong. It's helping students succeed in the classroom. And then the practical examples of this technology being used in the classroom, so I can see a joystick used by a child being explained in this book, and it really goes over in detail how different pieces of technology can be used. The real life stories, connecting it to real life people who have used these pieces of technology and how it changed their life was really impactful. And then understanding the limits of technology and how important good teachers are. The book kind of is saying like, hey, these pieces of technology is great, but it needs someone to use it properly. And I thought that was a strong case for it. It understands the limits that it has. And then a big weakness for me, I was like halfway through the book, I'm like, I gotta figure out what year this came out in. And it actually, the book came out in 2008. So a lot of things they're talking about is a little outdated, but I mean, the child development theories we use are from years and years ago, so certain things aren't outdated. They may be old, but they're not outdated. This book's message holds really strong, and the examples they may use may be a little old, but the theory behind it and the stronghold and the reasons are very strong still. So I really like this book, and I really recommend it for teachers in the modern day. So thank you.